we are here with one, the only Rico Cassadine. And do you remember how we first met? Because we ran in passing with each other through music creators within the circle.
I can't remember the first. I follow you on my original page because this is my backup page. It's been since what 2019,
Yes.
2020. It's been a
And I think
while.
it might have been through May God She Rest in Grace. Danita Rashawn, I think you interviewed her, and
Yep.
then either TTB, but one of the platforms is where we ran into because we all run within the same circle. So we've
Mm-hmm.
never sat down, and this is it, you guys. You guys are seeing us sit down face to face with each other. First off, I
Right.
want to give you your flowers, Rico, because I am so proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
have seen because you came in the interview when I sat down with your co-star, his crazy self, Michael James.
Yes, I was
And
too. It's so funny you mentioned her. I was just on the phone with him and his beautiful girlfriend Sasha Love. We were just talking.
yes, yes. And y'all two worked in Poly Love and Peach City too, which we'll be getting into Dr. Maya.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting down with Michael and you came to the interview and I said, oh, it was so good to be able to reconnect with you. Another familiar face, but you and T.S. Madison, shout outs to both of y'all being able to merge in the spaces that all of us in the LGBTQ are not able to merge into. And also shout outs to Lester Green, well, too, was also in the film. Shout outs to him. Both of you have been able to in those spaces. And to see you go from a reality show Rio, to now big time films, you're working with Dr. Maya Speller. You're music. You've crossed over. And again, what you're doing is called intersectionality, where you're able to merge the gap and show that, hey, all of us in the Black collective, hetero, straight, pan, whatever you identify as, can come together. And kudos to Dr. Maya Speller for showcasing that Poly Love in Peach City, because the first one, it was hetero, but up a notch. Poly Love in Peach City too. And you and Lester were in the sequel to that film. So
Yes.
congratulations, Rico, on all your success and this amazing project. When I seen the trailer, I'm like, okay, this deal right here. This is serious because we would see you shading somebody on reality. I forgot. And going from there, doing your music to now, you're in the big leagues. You're with Dr. Maya Speller. And if you guys don't know, I've sat down with Terry T. Miles. She did Father. The majority of her films are based off of her novels. So
Hmm.
hats off to her. And she's a Black woman. She's doing it independently, all hers, and her work is getting around internationally. So shout outs to Dr. Maya Bella. So Rico, my first question for you is because there is a sequel. You did for and that's Miles and Malik, which we'll be talking about. But what was it like getting the call from Dr. Maya Stella to work on Polly Love?
Okay, so it was so funny how it happened. I was in New York at the time. I was in New York working with Lester Matthews. Shout out to Nunu. I work with him a lot, and he is my.
There we are. We're back. We went out
Okay,
for a second.
I didn't know. I was like, what I do? But and we were. I think we were either filming my I think we were doing a music video for one of my songs, and I was at the club. $3 bill. Shout out to Lego and the $3 bill for OTA. I was at OTA, and I had performed that night, and I was backstage, and I got a phone call from a show, Zika Beat, and Najion, who uh filmed why did we get married, or I forgot the name of the, don't charge to my head, and I'm hard, I can't think of it right now. They called me and let me know that And people do this to me all the time. They don't ask me, they tell me. So they were on the phone. It was like, Rico, Dr. Maya's gonna call you. It's a role. We both said that you will be good for it. Say yes. I said, okay. And then like 20 minutes later, Dr. Maya called me. She said, hey, Rico, I wanted to formally ask if you would be interested in working on one of my projects. I said, yes. I still don't know what I'm doing yet. Don't know nothing. I was just like, yes. So then me and Dr. Maya stayed on the phone for a good 30 minutes. Mind you, I'm in the club. I done just forgot I'm in the club. I'm just in the club on the phone talking to her. And she's filling me in on the project. She was letting me know it's a two part signing deal. I did Poly Love and Peach City 2 and 3. And she was like, I want you to come on. The character is bisexual, he's married. Um, and I just wanted to know if you were comfortable with all this. I was like, yeah, down, let's do it. And then I want to say like 2 months later, we were on set. And when I tell you, it was like I don't have a problem working with anybody or blending in with anything, but the set was so like it felt like a family when we got on there. Everybody and people had their reserves. I'm not gonna lie, they thought that playing a gay male, being a gay male, they thought it was gonna, I wasn't the ideal person at first. But when I got on there, I switched into that voice. I started acting, and I surprised everybody. And just from that one movie, the director wanted me to work in some stuff. I had people calling me, wanting me to be in their stuff because of that one movie, because they saw the acting, they understood. And then when we did part two, I mean the third movie, my character had a little bit more heft to it because it was focusing on our relationship. So it was a step up, more lines, more depth in the character, and I rose to the occasion. And since then, I have been working since then.
Shout outs to my
Hey,
dad.
hey, what's going on? And I just think my whole thing was I just thank Dr. Maya. Anytime I talk about me merging into the YouTube realm, the Tubi realm, I have to thank Dr. Maya because she went out on a limb and she trusted Zika. I shout out to Zika B Show who pushes me into everything. I know we'll probably talk about the Desi stuff later, but she's also one of the connects that pushed me into that. Like I say, people don't tell me; they just be like, "Okay, I need you here, and this is what we're gonna be doing," and then it just happens. So, shout out to Dr. Maya for taking a chance on me, and I love her. She loves me. I love working with her, and I can't wait to do some more in the future.
And that you did. It showed me. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the Rico I know. You showed a completely different side. Even the scene, I can't give the film away, but if you guys have to go check Love, uh,
Yes.
and Peach 2 and 3. I can't give it away, but the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, it's an exchange with you and Lester in there. Oh, okay, this is that.
When I tell
So
you that oh my god. Okay, so first of all, as you know, I've worked with other companies that were gay centered and did other gay oriented shows where that certain sex scenes and things that are natural in those. But that was those the sex scenes that happened in Poly Love and Peace City 2 were very like it was hilarious because I was nervous. I never been nervous. You had all the director, the film videographer. You had all these people right there, and it's like, all right, we're doing this, huh? Okay, we're doing this. So yes, you got to watch that movie. That was a great welcome to Tubi for me, I guess.
and you walked right in, my love. Right in it. We've seen just a snippet, just a snippet. There is a hot tub scene. I can't give into the gist of it, but you guys go and check out the film right now on Tubi. It's out. And again, shout outs to Dr. Maya Spiller for being able to tap merging. What she did was intersectionality, which is as it's still a whole conversation about bisexuality and oh, it's my man on the the whole
Yeah.
this film opened Pandora's box for us to be able to have a conversation about being in a relationship, being polyamorous, because everybody is monogamous with one person. There are people who are in polyamorous relationships, like the singer
Yeah.
Neo. If I'm not mistaken, he's in a polyamorous relationship. Opened up about having two women. So I mean, it's vice versa. It's either or, a man or woman or whatever you like. We're not here to knock that, and that's what she tapped into. That where it's so taboo and it's not talked about, she covered it. She made sure that every corner was left covered, and she did
Mhm.
that. So even as it pertains to being in the LGBTQ community, she made sure that everybody was included. So kudos and hats off to her. And again,
And
Rico,
did
I
it
just yeah,
respectfully. And did it respectfully. I mean, I say in part two, it was. I think it was the way she handled the introduction of a bisexual character and understanding the duality of dealing with sexual urges and learning about new things and opening your mind. She handled it so respectfully because the way my character was able to safely navigate his sexuality with his wife, even though she did not have any kind of understanding. She was willing to understand because she loved her man, and her man felt vulnerable enough to have the conversation, of course, after he got caught. But for her to be willing to sit there and have the conversation out of the love for her husband, it was handled respectfully, it was handled tastefully, and it shows. And in my process of doing this, I learned that there are women that are out there with kinks and that are into certain things, and it was an eye opener for me because I learned stuff going into this that I didn't know.
there are women who are attracted. Thank you. My colleague, and I'm pretty sure we might have run into each Tramel and everybody over there on my colleague's platform, Conscious TV, has talked this about women being open to seeing two men. It's intimacy is not such a taboo thing. It is now where people are experiencing what they like and being open and in a space where it's typically hetero, because the first one was hetero, the
Yeah.
second one, the third one by characters. So it shows that we have depth and we have range in any relationship. And she showed that representation. And chef's kiss and a cherry on top of the cake to Dr. Maya Speller for being able to open Pandora's box and make people who are uncomfortable with being around us in the LGBTQIA or the
Yeah.
bi whatever community feel free and open to say, hey, I'm open to accept this. Still a small group of women who will not accept their man being bisexual. With this film right here, I'm pretty sure it will open the door to having a conversation, and kind of make people want to be feel free to explore their options when it comes to intimacy. But outstanding job. Can't stop giving you your flowers because I'm just so proud because it's difficult for us in this community to be able to merge in a hetero space. And that's what you, T.S. Madison, and so many others you're able to do is be able to merge. And again, that but I keep saying it, intersectionality. That's what we have to show because the thing that we have in common is this.
Yes.
We're black. We're black. Not gonna see all straight, but she showcased that like, yes, everybody needs love. A woman can be in a polyamorous relationship as well as a man, and there's nothing wrong with that. Stop judging people. That's what I've taken away from this film. Stop judging people because at one point in my life, I'm like, oh no, I would never. And this is coming from one who identifies as trans. I'm like,
Hmm.
no, I never. But me, I'm open to it. I'm open and I'm receptive. If this is what you like, then so forth. But I date another woman. No, I love men.
Right.
I love too much. But if that's what this person likes, if this makes them happy, I'm all for it.
I really love the idea of letting people know it's okay to experiment. It's okay to see what you like, because like I've learned that a lot of women go through life not being able to have the pleasure of climaxing because they don't find the right partner that knows how to do it. So it's like it's okay to understand that you deserve to be pleasured and you deserve to enjoy your life and have fun and still experiment. Just because you experiment does not mean you have to identify as that. You might there have I have had interactions with a male who wanted to see if that was something that he liked, and he was like, "It's cool, but I just don't see me doing that, doing this." And he married and got kids now.
And that's another thing. I'm gonna add on to what you just said, Rico. Stop judging men if they have experiences in their past with another man. That doesn't make them gay. It just means a one-time thing. Sensuality or intimacy, we get to explore as much as we want to. And as Rico stated in the beginning, everybody has their kinks and things. I mean, I've dated a guy who had a armpit fetish. Like, I mean, he
Mm,
literally wanted to know what your armpits. I mean, all people love their kinks and taboos. Polyamory or threesome or adding more to the bedroom. If that's what you're into, do it. Love it. And stop judging people at the end of the day
yeah.
because you have to keep relationships spicy in order to keep it going. It says I'm still on the fence about
I
that
was
one
just
time thing.
about to say, when it comes to that, I hate that men get this stigma, but let's even when we're talking about the movies Poly Love, you stated that the first one was hetero. It wasn't. It wasn't. The girls slept together.
Yes, sure was.
and this
I
and this
forgot
is
that.
the thing, we accept when women do it because we just write it off. But if a
It's
male just
normalized.
wants to experience, he just experience, like the guy I'm talking about, it was a one-time thing, and he went on and married the woman of his dreams and had children, and he never thought about it again. But it's okay for Sue to get the box knocked out the frame by Dorothy, and she do it for more than one or two times. But since she end up with Paul, we just forget about her and Dorothy.
Double standard, if you ask me, Rico, and that's exactly what it is. I remember this movie right here, and y'all know exactly which movie I'm gonna show.
Right.
This is
And
normalized.
that's the thing. I just don't understand why. And this is why I say we do have a lot of DL men. I got blamed for last season. The last season I was on Chasing when I had this conversation. I got a
Yeah.
lot of black women saying, "Oh, you're blaming us for DL men." I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying if we were open enough to actually be honest and let people be themselves, we wouldn't have a lot of people that want to hide things. Because if a man wasn't afraid to be secure in himself to have a conversation with his wife about or his girlfriend or feel free enough or comfortable enough to have these conversations about what he's going through, you wouldn't have a DL man because it wouldn't be stigmatized. It wouldn't make you more or less of a man if you verbalize that you had that thought. We're humans. We all have different thoughts.
And
And
urges
I
and
and I
temptations
hate
and
that and I
yeah.
hate that men have this stigma that they can't do certain things because of the fact it makes them less masculine when that's a human construct what masculine and feminine is. That's something that was made by man.
I'm glad you said that because that's something that Conscious TV has talked about on his platform constantly, Rico, and TTB as well too. They've all talked about how there is the divine masculine and there's divine feminine. There's a whole conversation we know in our community. The LGBTQ plus community is no fats, no films, is mass versus mask on mask. I mean, everybody has their category that they go to, and the thing is, everybody's gonna like their thing. And again, the one time thing does not make this man anything. If he now married to a woman and in a committed relationship with a woman, and it was just a time fling. And it's okay for a woman to do it. As the photo I just showed you, Twi, you seen Kenya Moore and Gary Duran and Gretchen Palmer and Twi. That was the It's okay for a man to have two women. That's always been the norm. That's always been the standard. But the standards are now changing. It's women sitting back and saying, "Hey, I want to watch you guys go at it. I want to see
And you
something different."
and you know the thing that makes that I when people say what's gay, and I tell people the way I define being gay is that I have the power and the ability and the will to love the same sex. I can a wet hole is a wet hole. But to me, you're not considered gay unless you can love and actually be with and sustain a life with the same sex. That's gay.
And that is key right there. And I think to keeping any relationship going, you have to be open and honest. And us in the Black collective for 400 years, we have been taught that, oh, it's wrong to be bisexual, it's wrong to be gay. But this is exactly why DL culture exists, because we have been taught for so long that it's been wrong that we've had to hide it. We have to keep it a secret. Don't tell nobody, because this is why. If y'all watch the show Insecure, y'all know the character Molly, played by Yvonne Orji, right? Her character dated a guy that had a one-time thing with a another man. And what happened was she was just like, whereas any woman, ooh, I don't know, I don't want that. It's just a one-time thing. There have been women who've had the experience, and the difference has been completely different, as Rico just stated. It's the double standard. So sex is sex, sexuality is sexuality, and I think a lot of people keep getting them misconstrued. And I think that it is important for us to kind of open our eyes, because times are changing. We are not living in a time where men are comfortable to be who they are. The hypermasculinity is slowly but surely going away, but we still have it. And this is exactly why, because they have been taught you can't look lesser than. It's going to make you look feminine. It's going to make you look this. It's going to make you look all of these things. And that is a stigma that has to be broken. The cycle has to be broken. We cannot continue longer to keep going on with this. That's important. Films like Polly Love and Peach City and Polly Love and Peach City 2 and has broken the barrier. Now there is a spinoff which we'll get into, but I wanted to dive into this conversation because the whole conversation on, well, my man, bye. Oh no, you can't date me if you dated another man. I'm still seeing the TikTok videos, and I'm pretty sure Rico's seen them. My colleague Deshaun sends them to me all the time, and I know T.S. Madison. She talks about it on her platform, her and Craig, and we all tired of it. We all are tired of it. Just let people live and be happy. If it makes
Just do
you
what you want to do.
do it.
Mind your business in your bedroom and let whatever goes on in your bedroom be your business. Cause I don't want to know the boring positions you in every night. So don't worry about what position he got me in.
Right, and everybody has to get theirs at the end of the day. Clock it, Rico, as the babies would say, clock it. They
Hmm.
have to get theirs at the end of the day. It's all about satisfaction. And that's what this film has taught me, as well as others. So open your mind a little bit. You don't have to do it. Just be a one-time thing. But at the end of the day, open your mind. That's what we're trying to say. Be colorblind. And what I mean by being colorblind is seeing past just, oh, that's gonna make him this and that and the third. Times are changing. Men are not openly saying we accept dating women like myself, trans women. They are now openly admitting their affection for us. They're letting us know. They're openly saying, hey, I might have had an experience or two. I might have kissed a guy or two. Or I've done this, da 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 da. But I'm still into women. There are men out here who are into different kinks. Remember the guy from Black Ink? He's into walking.
Or
Yes. Y'all seen what he's got going on. I can't say it here on YouTube, but y'all seen he's into leashes, has the women walking him on leashes and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's
that
different
opens
now.
up a whole nother conversation. When it comes to women and the things that they get into, because that pagan yeah, we gonna move on from that because I have some talks, baby.
There are some men who are into that though. You can't knock that. You
No.
can't knock that. And then there's some women who are into certain things as well too that help them get the big to be PG friendly here on YouTube to get the big happy moment. As shout outs to Nico's Aesthetics, super adult fun happy times. You know what we mean.
Yes.
But get that completion or that women like certain things as well too. It's a certain spot. It's certain spots on your body in detail to make it better. But we're gonna be daytime friendly over here.
Oh yes, daytime friendly.
Yes, 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 yes. But check out the film and open your eyes and just kind of open your mind a little bit. That's what this film has taught me because at a certain point in time, you have to learn yourself. You have
Yeah.
to unlearn things that have been taught to you. And for us, for so long, we have been taught that, oh, if you mess with another man one time, you're gay.
You gay.
Nah, if you got a whole family, you married, you got a wife, and you know where your bread and butter is coming from, and you good, you're going home to your wife every night, you're making sure that the kids are taken care of, you're doing everything you need to do. Why not have fun in when it's daddy and mommy time?
Mommy might want to
So
get. Mommy might want to see daddy, and daddy might want to see mommy. Might want daddy to get a little. You know that's because I feel, and that's another reason why I can go on this topic all day because I have so many quorums and things that I have with our community when it comes to allowing people to just be themselves. For the longest, we weren't allowed to be ourselves because we didn't have a self identity. So we've always tried to conform to the European idea of things and looks and things like that. So people don't even know that Christianity and things of that nature were forced upon us. We are forced to believe certain things. And
yes,
you have to take the willpower to free your mind to still have a spiritual connection, but understand at the end of the day, no human can judge you. It says, even in the book that y'all are forcing us to believe in, it says, no man can judge anyone. Only God Himself can judge. We are to lead in love and guide with light, not with hate. But for some strange reason, we now, I know why, because if you can get people to be scared of that book, you can have them in control mentally.
boom. And you know what that's called? What are white people doing to us right now? These white supremacists out here. It's called religious psychosis. It's called white Christian nationalism. We've deeply been indoctrinated. What did Andre say on my show? I had Andre Hollins on the show last week, and we talked about people who are heavily religious by the book. This is why a lot of people are leaving the churches now as a result of that. What we've been taught 400 years. Andre said it best on the show last week, which is the only book that we as black people during slavery could learn was that damn Bible. Was that Bible. That was the only book that we could learn. And yes, Faith, I agree with you. And we're not trying to overstep on anyone's boundaries. It's okay to
No,
have boundaries. Not at all. Definitely.
that what we're saying is you don't have to have that closed mindset.
Mm,
Everything is respectful. Everything has to happen respectfully. We're not saying that if your man goes out there and cheats on you, that you're just supposed to accept that. No, what we're saying is you should not be afraid to be able to try different things if you want to respectfully. That's the only thing we're trying to come across saying is that a lot of people want to judge people on what they want to do, but they're grown. If it's a consenting thing, that's not your business to judge anyone on what they're doing, because they're not forcing it on you. They're not making you be a part of it. That's their life. But we're just saying, have an open mind to understand that that's their life. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that it's wrong just because you don't like it. It's not
Absolutely.
your life.
Right. Exactly. And I believe that everybody should be able to explore, be able to open their minds. We don't want to step on anyone's boundaries.
No.
We're just saying, hey, this is what we like. This is our thing. And it is what it is. But we don't want to overstep on nobody's boundaries. And we definitely want to respect them as well too. We don't want to do anything to make anybody feel uncomfortable. We're in a climate right now where it's okay to put it out in the open and have these conversations. And I think this is healing. This is the step right here. So definitely. Speaking of being in an open relationship, now you have a sequel. Miles and Malik has a sequel, and this is from Urban Threads Media Company. So tell us, what was it like getting a sequel for your characters based in the film?
Okay, so okay, Miles and Malik was actually not a sequel of Dr. Maya's movie. It
Okay,
actually was something that I created. I created Miles and Malik. Urban Media Threads, Mike Williams is my best friend and my media partner that I ended up, after I left ACTV, I ended up working with Urban Media Threads because he has more of a nurturing environment when it comes to ideas and the way things have to be done. And he actually listens and he takes advice very well when it comes to other people's projects and things of that nature. So one day I was watching one of Zendaya, one of my favorite actresses. I was watching Miles and uh what was it? Malcolm and Mal no, what is it? Malcolm and Marie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was Zendaya and Denzel's Washington's son. And it was shot in black and white. And I was so amazed by just sitting there watching that movie in black and white and noticing how every emotion is so exaggerated in black and white because of the fact that there's no color, so you're focused on watching them act. And one day I called Mike up and I was like, you know what? I want to show a story about a couple that is going through it, but they still love each other and they argue like cats and dogs, but at the end they just so tired that they love just makes them just go, damn, I'm too tired, I'm too weak to do this. You let's just and he was like, okay. So we started coming up with ideas and he wrote the script. And we were so into the characters that we thought that the only two people that we could see playing these characters were us because we had got so deep into the mindset of where the character.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Rico.
I don't know. Is that me doing it?
And we're back. I think it's YouTube. We're back.
Oh, okay. But we were just so deep within those characters that we were like, okay, so we're gonna be the ones that do it. So we got our money together, we filmed it, and we've been pushing it out in different film festivals throughout the year, just this year to see what we got. But we wanted to release it because we felt like that was also something different that people have never seen. See two, I don't want to say masculine presenting because I feel like it was a mesh of what people think that they never see when it comes to gay couples. They always see the over flamboyant. I felt like it
Yes.
was a nice soft mix of a soft man and a more so indoctrinated gay man. And to see the dynamics of the couple and to see the the tension and the anger and the passion and the love at the end, I felt like it was something that hasn't been seen like that. and plus two natural looking men, like not model esque, just regular men. And I just yeah, Miles and Malik was my baby.
And I'm gonna add on to that to see, like you said, because in our community we have a thing: no fats, no films, no, we see the washboard abs. But again, Rico, you're breaking barriers so that everybody can see themselves in the community because we all deserve to have love. And with Miles and Malik, when I seen you post the poster, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to see. I'm seeing more and more creators in our community get out here and tell the stories that we need to see. Because typically, when we see these stories, it's the guys you would see on Jacked in the
Yes.
Jacked ads with the washboard abs. And don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for muscles, but I'm like, I want to see more of us in the community because we're not all a monolith. We don't all look the same.
It's nice to just be able to watch, and I feel like that's why people like Miles Malik and can feel connected to it because it feels natural. It doesn't feel
Yes.
staged. It doesn't feel like it's acting. It feels like you're actually sitting in somebody's window watching them go at it in a house.
And that's relatable to us because we in any relationship you're going to have issues, and that's what this show has shown. And I've seen you post a clip from it, and I'm just like, okay, yes, this is in any relationship. Chef Sky, hey my love, and I hope you feel better. Wishing you a speedy recovery. You are good. Please stay safe. Make sure that you are drinking lots of warm fluids because this is no joke. We're now in, if you're in South Carolina and you're in Georgia where Rico's, listen, the pollen count is low in the South. So y'all make sure y'all take care of yourselves and wishing you much love and a speedy recovery, Chef Sky Girl. So I'm glad you came in and hopefully you feel better, sweetie. But we're talking about Rico's Miles and Malik. And you guys can go and check it out. Check it out on Rico's IG. And this is from Urban Threads Media Company. So make sure you guys go and check that out. But we're talking about the importance of representation across the diaspora within our community because, like I said, we just see any basic love story. You can go to any network that we've seen it on, as you've mentioned, AC, as you've mentioned with any network, any prominent
Hmm.
network, people washboard abs, and it's just like, okay, give us something different. Give us something different because not all of us look the same in the community, and that's what you've done. But I want to go back to Polly Love for a second because I've seen the behind the scenes of you, Sasha, Michael, and Zika, and I'm like, okay, and the film is serious, but to see y'all cut up and sort of just let y'all's guards down is just everything. It is everything.
I
We're
do
back.
not. I don't understand. You two must don't like me.
I guess we got too spicy for him. Chef Sky, you missed a good conversation, girl. You got to check it out from the beginning. But to see you, Zika, Sasha, Michael, and the rest of the cast of Polylove, y'all are all laughing and having a good time. It was one video, y'all were in the car, and Sasha was cursing. Michael and Sasha in the front like they the mama and the daddy. I'm like, oh Lord, y'all are something else. It's literally like a family on set. So
Yes, it is.
again, y'all go and check it out if y'all haven't seen it. And shout out to Sasha and Michael. I want to give shout outs to them for just showing what allyship looks like. Being in the middle of bridging the gap. They didn't judge you based off of your sexuality. They, like you said, when you first came in, they thought it was gonna be that. And then Dr. Maya was like, no, I want to showcase and highlight all of the facets of any polyamorous relationship. Because it can be on both sides, either way. But Michael and Sasha, I was like, okay, great allyship. And that's what it looks like being able to joke around with your co stars and not judge them or prosecute them because of their sexuality. And they looked past that. They looked at you as a human being. And you guys now have like this it's like almost like a family. So shout outs
Yes,
to them. Say that. Yeah.
when I say me, it's barely a day me and Sasha don't talk to each other. Um, Michael is like my dog. That's my friend, and we hang out. We actually hang out, and he helps me with auditions and things like that. I just went to Dallas not too long ago to hang out with Sasha and her family. Like, we are friends in real life, and it was nice to actually be accepted because I was nervous going over there with all those, like, I don't have a lot of heterosexual friends, and I doggone sure don't have a lot of male heterosexual friends. So I'm not afraid to say I'm intimidated by going around heterosexual men, and I felt welcomed. I felt accepted. Nobody judged me. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want to be around that punk. It was nothing like that. I actually felt embraced with them. To be fair, since I've been working in the 2B sphere, I feel like I have been embraced by people because yeah, they might, if they did think about it, they didn't let me know because I mean, I feel like I've been accepted everywhere I've been able to go within this.
Not at all, Rico. And again, that goes back. I'm gonna keep saying that word. The word of the day, class. They do it on Sesame Street. The word of the day is intersectionality, being able to bridge the gap of hetero and LGBT. And when I saw that video, that literally had me choked up, like emotionally. Like I'm like, it's gonna take a long way for us to fix the divide amongst gay and straight and black. I'm not gonna choose my transness or my blackness. I'm
Right.
black, so too. Or just the same for Rico. Rico is a man. He's black and he's a part of the queer community. We both are. And that is one thing you can't take away from us because the same thing that y'all do, we have hearts that beat, we have blood that runs through our veins. We're all human beings at the end of the day. And that is one thing you can't take away. And I can remember Michael saying that in the interview with me. He talked about the film BFFs and how
Mhm.
he played. You guys have seen it, where he played a character that found out the character that he went to prison with was transgender. And he
Mhm.
asked his mom what he thought about it, what she thought about it, and everything. Excuse me. And she was saying, what would Jesus do? You go on ahead and you take that role, and you go on ahead and you do it. And Michael said he is not. And again, shout outs to him for not judging, not prosecuting. Sasha as well, too. Beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, beautiful energy to see y'all laughing and having fun on set. That's what allyship looks like to anybody out here. That's exactly what allyship looks like. We went out for a second and we're back.
Why is you two don't like me today?
I'm sorry, baby. I don't know what's going on. That again, the conversation was spicy in the beginning of the show. So if you missed it, you got to catch it from the beginning. We were talking about Poly Love and Peach City 1, 2, and 3, and now we're talking allyship. And we also talked about Miles and Malik. Make sure you guys are following Rico to go and check that out. But this is what allyship looks like. And I know a lot of people are like, what can I do to be a better ally to our community, the queer community?
Just
This
be a
is what you
friend.
do. Be a friend. When
Be
we're not asking
a authentic friend.
exactly. Don't be harmful to us. Don't make
Yeah.
jokes about us. Laugh with us, and defend us when we need you to. That's great allyship. We're not
I have the
asking
perfect one. Another person that I'm always gonna be loyal to and always thank is gonna be Desi Banks. Um,
oh,
I remember I was working on one of his. I've done like 6 skits with him now. Six
absolutely.
going. I did one skit where I played a church member, and I'll never forget this. Me and Zika were there. She was in the room. I stepped out to go grab something, and they asked who something was, and then the guy, one of the extras, was like, "Oh, it's the gay guys." And when I tell you, Desi's team stopped him right there and said, "We're not doing that. We don't do that. That's Rico." You don't say that. And when I walked back in the room, Zika Show told me about it. She was like, "Oh, they fucked with you heavy, cause they didn't even allow nobody to refer to you as the gay guy." So when I say all my respects to Desi and his team, that's real allyship. I'm not there to be a joke. I'm there a part of the team, and I'm respected like the team.
And you have a name for them to go and say that. That's so disrespectful. That was so disrespectful. That wasn't necessary. Again,
Right.
at the end of the day, you see sexuality first when I come through the door. You don't see my blackness. You see my sexuality or you see my gender. And that's the thing. My name is well, my name is not Rico. I'm Miss Stevie, but I'm using it as an example. My name is Rico. See me as a human being. And this is exactly what we have to fight for when we go into these spaces that are predominantly hetero. But again, kudos to Desi Banks for showing what allyship and not only that, but showing what a man who is confident in his sexuality is.
Yeah. Because I know especially the last skit we did with the jail with me braiding his hair, I know
Oh
he probably would have
my
got.
God.
I know he got a lot of slack. I know anytime that I pop up in one of his videos, I know he gets slack for it in our community because he's not scared to accept the person for who they are. And this man funny. Like it's been
You don't
plenty of
care.
times
And
I've
one
worked with him and he said he talked to me personally and said, "Bro, why you don't do stand up? You are hilarious. You need to do stand." Like he's encouraging. That's what working with him got me to now doing my own little videos, which are going crazy because it's tapping into something that nobody's done.
and that you are. You and my colleague Bubs the God, Rico is petty and Bubs is petty, and they both are funny. So it ties in perfectly. It was like a match made in heaven when I seen the video of you stepping out the police car and your sidekick, your other partner right there. I was rolling. I'm like, okay, now shout outs to Desi Banks as well too, because you can't roast a man who is confident in his sexuality, let alone a comedian. Y'all tried that with Marlon Wayans when Marlon Wayans accepted his transgender son. Y'all were out here heavy in the comments. But one thing you're not gonna do is roast a professional roaster, a comedian. You're
Huh.
not gonna do that. They're gonna be one step ahead of you. And Desi is one step ahead of you. So kudos to Desi for being confident in his sexuality. And not only that, showing what allyship looks like. And that's what it is. Standing up for the people that you call your friends, the people that you consider your sis or your bro at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Because we do the same. Queer people, we always put ourselves in line for everybody in that collective when you're right. But at accountable and wheel you in. But this is not about holding someone. Yeah, it is because he held the gentleman who referred to you as that accountable. So it's about that, and that's what makes great allyship. So I think we're seeing progress, but it's still going to take a lot more work. And I think with projects like Miles and Malik, like Polly Love and Peach City 1, 2, and 3, that it will open the door for us to have these healthy dialogues and see, like my girl Faith is the subject. She's like, okay, I don't mean it's that, you're gonna have people that are disagreeing. And that doesn't mean you don't hate somebody because of that. Again, it goes back to what she just said in the comments earlier, and that was respecting boundaries. And
Yeah.
queer people know not when to push boundaries, but also, however, straight people can't push boundaries and use their homophobia and transphobia. It's a big difference. It's on both sides. Accountability on both sides.
Definitely. Definitely. It's a learned experience to be able to have the patience to understand that you have to unteach something that was taught from birth. You have to be willing to unlearn and relearn things.
And that book again, we're going back to that book.
Yeah.
400 years of that. It stems all the way back to slavery. We got a lot of unlearning to do. And if you go
And
back
that's
in
not
time,
even just within the hetero community. Our community also. There's a
we
lot of
yeah,
unlearning that we bring a lot of heteronormative over
heteronormatives.
into our community because some of us are still indoctrinated and still what did you say spiritually brainwashed,
Yep.
and we carry some of those that trauma over. Yeah,
Indoctrinate
we might have
heavily.
freed ourselves just a little bit in your mind, but baby, that other 89% ain't open yet because you still living within that heteronormative thought pattern.
And I can slowly but surely see a lot of the people within our community, breaking and saying, "Hey, I want to have control over who I worship, who I pray to. I want to
Yeah,
have control over who I'm in love with. I'm not ashamed of it." And there's some people who in our community also feel ashamed, like to love out loud, to love openly. Again, a heteronormative. It goes back to DL culture because people have not been slowly but so open, so we've always been taught to keep it under the wraps. But now people are open and free, and it eats them up on the inside that we are open, we are free, we are liberated, and we are
and
owning.
the funny thing is generational too, because you have a lot of the past that are a little envious of the fact that they didn't get to live their lives in the life that they wanted to live. So they want to push everybody else back into the closet because it's like it's comfortable for them because that's what they were forced to do. But now we're in a time where people don't care what other people think. It's not about how you want me to live. I got one life. Just because you wanted to please others in your life doesn't mean that I'm going to waste my life trying to please people that I don't really care about.
And that's what it's about, because we always spend, and growing up, if you're coming out of the closet or whatever, we've always thought, like, what would our family would think about us? What would our mom think? What would our dad think? And then we come out to our parents or whatever. In some cases, for children who do come out to their parents, it's like, what will the community think? I've seen films where the parents will say, "Now, how am I going to go to church with this?" You go to church, which as if it's any other normal day.
God said, "Come as you are."
Exactly. And that means I'm going to come with all of me, all of my queerness, all of my transness, all of me, fully and authentically, because to live in a lie, you have to tell another lie to cover up that lie, and then another lie to cover up that lie, and then another
Your
lie to
whole
cover up.
life gonna be a lie.
You won't be happy. You'll be miserable. And that's why a lot of people are sometimes miserable. You're judging and you're prosecuting other people because you can't be happy and live the authentic life that you want to.
No, it's now, but mm, we're slowly moving towards a day when people can realize it's okay to live for yourself and not the approval of others. I was blessed to have a family that knew I was gay. I don't. Everybody asks me, "What's your coming out?" I don't have a coming out story. I never had to come out because I've acted the same since a kid. And the only difference was when it was time to have the sex conversation, they knew that it was going to be a different conversation for me. But the funny part is, I tell everybody I still had that fear of saying it verbally when I never even had to have that fear. And now, as an adult, the reason why I see that I had that fear was because of the way society looked at gay people, not my family, because my family knew. They tried every which way for me to have it to say it, but I was scared to say it because of society, not my family. And that's the thing. You can have a supporting family, and society can still scare you to not be yourself. So it's a mental fight to be yourself. And a lot of people don't get to make it out of that mental fight. Whether they have to hide for the rest of their lives or they leave this earth not being able to be who they want to be. And I just can't see myself living my life to please others forever.
Because you'll be miserable. You'll be
Yeah.
miserable. What would this person think about me? What would this person think about me? Live out loud. Be your bold, true, authentic self. And dare to be different. There's nothing wrong with being different and being your authentic self. And I think that a lot of people get off on, well, what will the neighborhood, the community. I live in South Carolina. So we live in a very small town, little old Bamberg, South Carolina. And everybody knows everybody. Everybody went to school with everybody. Everybody went to school with everybody's mamas. Our mamas went to school with each other's mamas and everything. So they're just like,
Mm.
you such and such baby. You such and such baby. You look just like your mom. So it's a very small town. In that situation, people are going to talk. The thing is, don't care what they say. Don't care what they say. Let them talk. If it's not beneficial to you and your growth and your confidence, because I want a lot of people in the queer community, especially queer youth, coming up, coming out on their own. It's not going to be an easy journey, but you have to have it. You got to be bold. You got to be daring. Hi, Spicy. Hey, girl.
But
We are here.
that's why I feel like I do what I do for that little queer thick boy
Yeah.
that thinks that he can't do something or he's not welcomed or he's not liked or he's ostracized. When, like you said, when I came up, it was no fats, no film. Times has changed. People like them thick now. You know what I'm saying? There have been doors kicked in by thicker men that has changed the view of what sexy is or what is attractive. And I just want to do my part for the next generation to come up. And I want to see another Rico bust through here, personality, triple threat, doing his thing, big, bold, living his life. Because even though it looks very beautiful for y'all, there's times where I don't get out of bed. There's times where I'm depressed. My weight goes up and down because I'm eating myself and me eating my feelings. I've dealt with eating disorders. I've dealt with a lot. It has been a journey to become Rico. And if being Rico could make someone else feel confident enough into being themselves and taking the torch and going further than what I have done, please do so. I want that. That I want. I um when I grew up, the only representation of somebody that looked like me was Alex from
Glee, right? Alex
not
Newell
Glee.
from Glee.
No, we going
Uh,
further back than that.
who?
Um, oh,
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
That would be Rodney Chesney, his crazy self.
When I met him in Chicago, I was in Chicago because right now it's Continental weekend. I was out there with my sister Trinity, helping her when she ran for Continental. I got to meet Rodney, and I literally sat down with him. I got pictures and everything. I met him a couple of times, and he always remembers. He remembers when he see me because he always talks about the boy. I cried because he doesn't know how much that character shaped me as a young big. I didn't. All I saw was little. All I remember is queer folk when I was gay, and all I
Ooh,
remember is
you
white
way back.
thin boat men, and I didn't look like that, and the only black people, RuPaul. There weren't a lot of thicker black gay men as
Yeah.
representation. So I didn't know I could be gay. I didn't know I could be attractive. But when I saw him and he had a man and he had a fine man in that show, I was like, oh my God, it's possible. And I can act like this too and get me one. Uh, so when I was telling him how much his character and his acting and him as a person, because a lot of his personal life was put into that character,
Yeah.
it was I had to tell him, do you know my personality and who I am is shaped by you and Raven Simone? Y'all are me. Like that's what I had growing up. So I cried because I was like, that's like meeting for some people Naomi Campbell, being Beyonce. That was like my at that time my Beyonce because it was like this is the person who I got to see and that was my representation. and I got to meet him. Then we got Uncle Clifford. I remember when I got to
Yeah.
meet him, and that made me realize that I can cross being a male and having femininity, knowing that I did drag, all that, and I could go mainstream. I could act, and I could have. Seeing him gave me that courage. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be that to somebody. Like when they meet me, be like, Rico, do you understand me following you from your
Yep.
first ever web reality show, The Circle Atlanta, all the way up to you getting your Oscar? Your journey has made me see that it's possible for me. Cause baby, I see myself being EGOT one day. I don't know what, I don't know how, what shape, and how it's gonna happen. But baby,
Put it in
I
the
speak it to
universe.
existence. I see me winning an Oscar. I see me getting an Emmy. I see me being a actor, a producer, director. I see that. That's what. And to be fair, I'm self-taught at everything. I didn't go to school for none of this. I went to Clark. I dropped out in my sophomore year.
See,
All
but
this stuff
you
is self-learned.
and you taught yourself that this is God. This is a God-given talent. This is a God-given talent for you to be able to produce, to be able to write, to be able to direct, to be able to organize. To be, it takes a lot of work, and hats off to you for that. The journey hasn't been easy for any of us. Like you said, I can remember you from the circle. I can remember you from chasing. I can remember you on the panels with TTB, and look at you now. And it just goes to show your growth. So we all have had to look up to somebody that have crawled so that we could walk. And for me, it was Laverne Cox. It was
Mhm.
T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison was the first black trans woman ever in American history to have a television show on mainstream. And she executive produced and directed her own television show. It was Laverne Cox on Time Magazine. And at the around the time, it was Orange is the New Black was the show.
Mhm.
So that's the representation that we see. If and I can go all the way back to when I had the pleasure of sitting down with Connie Fleming, international supermodel. She was everywhere. She walked in Terry Mugler's fashion shows. And I sat down with her and I said, "Do you know you're the reason why I'm here? You're the reason why I'm here. You crawled so that I could walk in these spaces and be seen in mainstream and in the fashion and the beauty world." And there's so many others. Tracy Norman Africa, who was the first African American trans woman to appear on the Clairol hair color
Hair
box.
bow box. Yep.
And she was outed at one of her photo shoots. She had a successful modeling career, and someone outed her for being
And then
transgender.
she lost everything.
She lost everything. So it just goes to show you that these are the obstacles and sacrifices that the people have that have came before me, like Rodney for Rico, T.S. Madison, and Laverne for me, and Tracy and Connie. All of these women crawled so that I could walk, so that we all could walk in the community, so that we can all exist. And that's where, again, the key word of the day, fashion dolls, intersectionality
Intersectionality.
comes in. And we're seeing everything merge right where it should be. And as Rico said, it's going to take a little time. It's definitely going to take a little time. But with having conversations like this, bridging that gap and showcasing to everybody that queer people are not a threat. We're not a threat at all. We're doing everything normally that we should be doing. We're helping out. We're good friends. We're always there to give good advice, and that's what it's about. So we got to work together. Again, YouTube is trying us.
They are tired of us.
These conversations, I guess the conversations must be too deep, Rico, but we're gonna get it done. We are over an hour in conversation, fashion dolls, and I hope you all are taken away from this. That we've covered a number of things today in the show, from allyship to bridging the gap to intersectionality to being able to cross over and merge in these spaces. Yes, LGBT people, we have our spaces, the Chasing Atlantas, the circles, what's another? Shout outs to Mr. Ruffin, Real Life Reality. It's so many. We have our spaces, but we're crossing over now in mainstream. And they're still wanting to erase our existence out. It's not happening. We see, as Rico just mentioned, Nico as Uncle Clifford on P Valley. Tony Bryce is on P Valley. Another
Yes.
trans sister.
To be fair, and Tony will tell you, I think I was the first person to tell her. Tony is the first transsexual woman to be in a Marvel movie or series because she
Yes.
starred episode 1 of She-Hulk. And when I saw her in there, and I texted her that night, I said, "You do know you're the first trans woman to be in a Marvel movie, right, or a show?"
See how
She was
history is
like,
being made. You don't even know it.
"Oh, you know what you're right."
And
Oh, and
and
shout out to Titus. Titus from Kimmy Smith.
Titus
I got to
Burgess.
meet I got to meet him, and I got to talk to him. Gotten to meet all the people. To be fair, all the people that have shaped me, I've gotten to meet. I've gotten to meet Raven. I've gotten to meet Titus. I've gotten to meet Nico. I've gotten to meet Rodney. I've gotten to meet all these people within my walking journey of life.
Look at the impact they've had on each and every one of us. And shout outs to them for being their authentic selves. And I can remember Raven in the interview, the new image that she has, because when we see her, we typically see her glammed up on That's So Raven. She was fashion forward. She was all of the things, the hairstyles, and I've even duplicated a few hairstyle choices here on my show of hers. But she said, "This is me. This is me authentically. I don't want to be, I don't want to put on the makeup and all of this all the time. I want to do something different." And for Raven to walk in her authenticity, because even the brat, shout outs to the brat as well
I've
too.
gotten to meet the Brad.
She said at the time, no, you couldn't do that. You'd mess up your record deal if you ever did that.
Hi, Deshaun.
Shout outs to you, Deshaun. I just mentioned you a few minutes, babe. You missed a good conversation. We talked about bisexuality. The film that Rico was in, make sure y'all go and check it out. And it is Polly Love in Peach City. There is a trilogy. So it's part one, two, and three. Make sure you guys go and check that out on Tubi. And there is also the Miles and Malik show, which is Rico's. So shout out to my colleague Deshaun. So we've covered a number of things today in today's show, Deshaun. You missed a pretty good show. But we're still gonna keep going because I'm gonna let Rico host the show and ask me some questions. Again, this is our first time meeting. We've ran in passing, but we've never met. So I'm gonna pass the microphone on down to Rico, and he's gonna ask me some questions in a minute. But uh, to conclude this point here on Raven, shout outs to her for saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna conform. I'm not gonna assimilate. I'm not into really, you know, her character on the show, Raven Baxter, and wearing dresses and all of that. That was not me." She said that in an interview. That's not me. This is me. I can put on a t-shirt, I can go, and she still looks beautiful. Her skin looks amazing, by the way. So yes.
Thank you. But
Hair looks
the th-
amazing.
the thing with, and then listening to her story about how she was from a child told what to wear, told how to look, how she was made to get a breast augmentation when she was doing Disney. She has done a lot and gave a lot of herself to her craft. And she has earned and deserves the right to show up how she wants to. She, like they had the little Disney Mount Rushmore. She is a permanent fixture on that. And the thing about it is, she was famous before that, and still ended up being a permanent fixture on the Mount Rushmore. And Disney didn't even use her correctly when they had her. Think about it. Raven Simone, Raven. That's how Raven is the only Raven, the popular show that does not have its own movie, which it should. She has still not become a Disney legend. But the thing about Raven is Raven molded up several generations. When it comes to me acting wise and why I love comedy, she's one of the reasons why. Eddie Murphy's one of the reasons. I have a list of comedians that are reasons why. But the way that I love physical comedy is because of That's So Raven. I mean, I can go on and on about different people that have shaped molded, and I've watched and I've learned how to maneuver or make certain moves based off of people that I've watched in this industry and how they move. But the overall thing is the one thing I center myself on is a quote from Denzel Washington about preparation. Preparation is when talent meets opportunity.
Mm, there you
You
go.
have to be prepared. You have to have the talent when the opportunity comes.
And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And Raven, people are calling her the Beyonce of Disney Channel. She was just that. Everyone tuned in to watch That's So Raven. And I can remember at one point she had a collection with Walmart as well too of
Hmm.
her clothing. And girls were dressing like her, like she set the fashion trend. She set the trend. She set the mold, and she paved her own way. Just like with the Brat. The Brat didn't look like other female rappers that came out at that time. I mean, Kim had her thing, Foxy had her thing, Lady of Rage had her thing, Queen Latifah had her thing. Brat was like, I don't want to be like any other female rapper. I want to be different. And that was just that. So again, it goes back to being what I consider, a trendsetter. You're stepping outside of your lane and doing what other people are not doing. You're original. And that's why I commend you, Rico, for
Thank you.
just being your bold, authentic self. Because first, and then to be able to get in these spaces, merging, that's what it's about.
I mean, well, the same could be said for you. Because when you think about it, who else are getting the interviews that you've got? Who is merging the community with who are merging the communities? I've seen so many different people on this platform being able to be interviewed by you. Gay, straight, it didn't matter. You knew you were smart enough to understand that there was something missing within the community to help bridge these people together. And I know it
Thank
wasn't easy. I know it had to be hard to start off. But think about the
my
respect
love.
that you gained by getting these people on your platform. Commend yourself. You have to because that's hard.
It is. And I think even Michael asked me that question when we did our interview as well too, Rico. He said, how do you get these guests? I told him it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been an easy journey. And it goes to show each and every one of us, we all have a journey of something that we are fighting towards. And I never really thought of it that way as bridging the gap. I would look at my colleague, Conscious, Conscious TV for doing it, or my other colleague, Bubs the God, for being able to go in these spaces and do the same thing that you do, which is merging. But I do it with them individually. But sometimes they'll do the panels, but doing it with them individually, where it's like taking the time to get to know someone, and their story, and feeling comfortable with me to be able to share their their experiences, all of these things. So I appreciate that, but I never really thought of it that way. As I'm merging, and as the word I said of the day, which is intersectionality, and it's being done. It's being done. I see the shift, and I'm proud of the shift, and I want to continue to keep doing this platform.
And
And
you're
it's
part of the shift.
Yes, and I thank you all so much for that. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like. Thank you, Spicy. I see you all are conversating amongst yourself and enjoying our conversation here. And this has been an hour-long conversation with Rico. Again, this is our first time meeting. We've ran into each other in passing, into each other's lives. My brother K Tukes loves you. We spoke on the phone. He said, "Who you got coming on the show today?" I said, "Rico Cassadine."
I
Um,
love K
we
Pug.
ran into each other in passing, and I think we met through Danita. May God rest her soul, because she
Hmm.
also was a part of that bridging us all together. Everybody was scattered out now. Everybody's doing their thing in their careers, and we've all taken off afar. But she also was a part of that Bridging That Gap. I remember I collaborated with her and she guest co-hosted with me. That was 2021, 2022. And she had you on the platform, and I think that's how I met you. And then you were
Mhm.
on TTV's platform a lot with my other colleague, Bubs to God. Y'all
Mhm.
both are crazy as hell. Y'all both are
Yep.
silly. And that's how I think we might have come to see. We all know the same people. We all are in the same circle. Our community is small, but we are out here doing the thing, which is merging, working, and showcasing that, hey, we can be in hetero spaces too. We can exist and we can break barriers and shatter glass ceilings, abund the abyss. So, shout outs to each and every one of us for doing that and continuing to be, for the next generation, because it's somebody that's following right along in our footsteps, coming after us, as you just mentioned. Because I get it all the time. What can we do? How can we be so bold and so confident? We didn't just get it just like that. It was a process for us to build it up to be that bold and that confident. And a lot of people, one thing I would tell people all the time is do not fear. Do not fear. You can't fear. If you're going to
Mm-mm.
be unapologetic and stand on it, or as the babies would say nowadays, stand on business, stand on it. Stand in your authenticity and stand in your light and never let anybody dim your light. And that is one thing I give Rico credit for, which is never letting anyone dim your light in almost every single one of your comedy skits, or when you put up a short teaching my brother or whoever
Pocket.
how to be all of it. Yes, you shine. It's a light inside of you that shines. And seeing you on screen with Zika and Michael and Sasha and Lester and the rest of the cast of this amazing project from Dr. Maya Speller, Polly Love, seeing you shine in the drama realm, and then seeing you go from reality to now. The transition is beautiful, being able to go and do all of these different genres. And I've even noticed that in your music as well too. You don't stay in one lane. And that's what makes us amazing, or as T.S. Madison would say, us outlaws, is the fact that we step outside of the norm. We don't do what everybody else is doing. We create our own lanes. You've incorporated rock in some of your music. You've
Mhm.
incorporated a little bit of R&B. You've incorporated all of the genres of music. And then the most recent one, which was Closer, I'm like, okay, Rico is singing when we seeing him literally bringing fire to a track and rapping and spitting bars. Now you're singing and you're toning it down. And I've seen the cover work for one of the pieces. I'm like, okay, he's tapping into R&B now. But see,
Yep.
that goes to show that range, be able to show that range of that. I'm like, and even Prince was genius at doing this as well too. May God rest his soul, Prince. I love Prince. He said, I'm not just going to be in one category. I'm not going to be in one lane. I'm going to show you all of the genres of music that I can do. And you see him get on a piano, you see him get on a guitar. You're doing that with your music as well, Rico. And that is what makes a outlaw or a trendsetter. And that's what I think a lot of us can relate to, is the fact that we're different in our own ways. So find what makes you different. Different is beautiful. And I'm going to pass. It is time now, because I'm not gonna stop. I'm not, I'm gonna stop stalling, and I'm gonna pass this microphone on down to Rico over here. And it is no longer Style by Stevie. It is the Rico Cassadine show. So Rico is gonna ask
Wow.
me some questions. I have no clue what he's gonna ask me, and this is sort of like putting me in the hot seat. My guests get to ask me questions. It's called Turn the Tables. So I'm gonna pass it on. Rico Cassadine show. Take it away.
Well, my biggest question is, if you were able to do this all over again, what would you change about your journey? Or would you change your journey?
Ooh, I would say no. God put me here for a reason. He put me here for a purpose. And I think my purpose is to continue to keep doing the same thing you're doing, which is bringing joy to people. And I give my mom credit for it, because I was, the third born, four brothers, two sisters. And she said after she had me, and I'm pretty sure you got siblings too, Rico, half of us got siblings.
Mm-hmm.
She said after I had your brother and your sister, You were not planned. You know it. I'm not having no more kids, but you know, it just happened. So here I am, this baby with these these big brown eyes popping up into the world. Like, okay, I remember my father cutting my umbilical cord and bringing me into the world, and the rest is history. Here I am. If it wasn't for my mom birthing me and bringing me into the world, you guys wouldn't have a Style by Stevie. You wouldn't know who I am from a can of paint or Adam. And just for me, you know, creating the foundation because I started this like right in, you know, right after graduating out of high school. I had no
Mm.
idea or clue what I was doing. And it just took a liking to its own. And from there, the rest is history. So here I am. I have arrived. I am here. And I wouldn't change anything in the journey. It's been rough. We all have rough journeys, but I wouldn't change anything about it. I would say, you know, it's God's divine timing for me to be here. It's God's divine timing that I am here right now, standing and speaking and sharing my story with y'all about my family, about my siblings, and being transparent and vulnerable. So, yes, I wouldn't change it.
So now that we've talked about the past, what do we what does Style by Stevie want for the future of their career?
Oh my God, what do I want for myself? I would love to have, like, Oprah has her own networks and studios. I would love to have that. And I would bring everybody on board. I would bring a Rico Castan on board. I would bring a Duran Bernard. I'd bring everybody, all of my brothers and sisters that are in the LGBTQIA plus community. And not Fannie Lou Hamer, Shirley Chisholm has a quote that goes like this. She says, if they won't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding
Make
chair.
it. Hello, somebody.
Everybody is getting a seat at my table that is in the queer community because whereas they're pushing us out of television, they are erasing our stories. I want to provide a space where I make sure that every corner is left covered. That means trans, that means intersex, that means pan, that means non binary, gender non conforming, trans femme, trans mass, whatever you identify as, straight as well, too. But mostly, what is it, ladies and gentlemen? Black by a
Mm-hmm.
trans woman. And that's what I want. I would love to have my own network. I would love to dabble in the fashion world because a lot of people see the name Style by Steve, and the first thing that comes to mind is fashion. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so much more than that. Again, I'm like Prince. I don't like to be placed in a category. And a lot of people are like, well, you sit with a lot of famous people. And Rico, they do it to me all the time. Why you want to interview me? I get it. Whenever I'm trying to set up something with somebody, they're just like, they've seen who I've interviewed and they're like, you've sat with a lot of famous people. I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. If you are black and you are out here doing the work, you got my complexion, you look like me, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have a seat at the table. And my mother and my grandmother have always told me, they said, if you're a blessing to somebody,
Excuse me.
bring
Mm-hmm.
somebody along with you. Don't
I
leave
mean,
them alone, especially if
that's
they
how
look
I go.
like you. They got your same skin color and everything. They're black and they're not being seen. They've been pushed out and they've had doors closed in their faces too. Bring them along with you.
That's
So
how I
that's
feel.
what I
That's my yeah. I totally, totally agree with that one. Cause that's how I try to maneuver within my community. If I open the door, baby, I'm gonna try to sneak a couple in with me while I come. So I can be comfortable and I'm not by myself. So come on, girl, come on
right.
in. But okay, we talked about the future. We talked about the past. Let's talk about in this space right here. Where is
Yes.
Styles by Stevie mentally today in this time?
I would say I'm at peace. I'm content. I'm happy. And you guys see it all over me. It's been a challenge, and I'm so glad you've asked mentally. K Tooks knows what I've been battling with behind the scenes, family issues and things. Not involving me. I'm good over here, but I'm having to be the yala and help everybody fix their problems, and
Mm-hmm.
more importantly, take care of everybody. I don't know. I think we inherit a lot of our parents' characteristics, and now I'm in a mode where I just want to nurture. I just want to hug. I want to care for people. Are you okay? Are you all right? Now I'm in my nurturing phase. season 10 or season 15 or so, I'm just like, okay, I'm right here, just focused on me. But now I want to care for everybody. I want to nurture, and especially in these times, we have to look out for everybody.
Yes.
So right now, I would say I'm at peace, and I'm learning how to keep my peace protected. So that's what I would
Mm.
say. My mental space is where I'm at.
All right. What else can we discuss?
He trying to get all of my business, y'all.
Just a little, y'all don't forget me the table. Okay. One thing I ask everyone because it's important to me that one day we all gonna be gone and we're leaving something behind. Style by Stevie, what is it that you want the world to remember you by and for?
I would say for speaking up for the voiceless, being unapologetic, educating people, bringing awareness to things. Uh, I want to say being a part of fighting for the greater good.
Mm,
We're seeing that right now. I want people to remember me for being someone who can have. I remember one of my guests saying, whenever you have these conversations on your platform, you have nuance. And that's something that I want to be able to, you know, people to remember me for is having nuance, having balance, being able to balance it out, being able to be an understanding person or a listening ear. Because sometimes when my guests come on and sit down with me, it's like you never know what they've been through. I don't know what kind of day Rico had. I don't know what kind of day the next person had, and then the next person had, and the next person had. And they'll be like, thank you for uplifting me. That smile and that greeting made my day. So I want to be remembered for bringing joy and being, I remember, and I'm pretty sure you know my brother Rico, Sky Valentine. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he says, sister, you are a beacon. You are a light. He called. I remember him, and it was the live. I think you were there when I was crying. It. You guys see it. Y'all know I was crying hard because God was just pouring into me. And oh my God, He called me a beacon of light. And one thing I want to continue to do is bringing joy to people. I want to continue to be that breath of fresh air that people need and providing an escape where everything is heavy right now, but I still want to be remembered for providing a safe space and an escape for people. So yeah,
Um, okay. Well, I definitely want to say this was definitely needed. Today was definitely needed for me because I know for some people they don't take the time to look at what they have accomplished or who they have touched because I know I stay focused in my big work. I don't take moments to actually reflect on what I've done. And sitting here talking about the things that I have accomplished in my career has really made me go, wow, I am allowing and I am living what I've always wanted was to leave a legacy for someone to be able to see and want to or know that they can do it too. And also, I'm glad that you can see that that is what you're doing because you're opening doors for girls to see themselves one and see them doing something that they didn't know that they can do because we live in the now that's TV time and we don't have a lot of role models that are showing that we can make it while actually having real talent and actually doing real work. So that's I want to give that from me to you. I just want to say that from me to you. And I want to thank you for this opportunity because things like this, it gives me moments to where I can see that I have accomplished something because sometimes we don't see our accomplishments because we're so stuck on what we're doing now. And I just want to say this today gave me a moment to look back and really take in what I have accomplished. So,
and I'm so glad. that I've been able to provide that for you. Like looking back to your career retrospective, I can remember running and passing and seeing you in Danita's live. And
Mhm.
if she was still here, she's smiling down on each and every one of us because we've all collectively went and done great things. And you are still doing that. From to be able to go from the circle, ATL to Tayson to your music, which has always been there, to now be able to work with Dr. Maya Speller, who is making headlines and opening Pandora's box, as said in the beginning of the show. That's what it's all about. So, congratulations to you, Rico. I'm so proud of you. And don't let this be the last time because I'm going to bring him back on the show. Now, I know Bubs the God is probably somewhere in here trolling. So, we'll check for that later. But make sure you guys are supporting. And before we let you go, Rico, any gems that you would give to anybody on living authentically and living boldly and living out loud?
I'm getting chills and I'm getting teary because this has been my saying since I've
Oh,
entered this industry, and I tell people this so all the time in everyday life. I've had moments where me and Sasha had conversations. I've said it. I've told Mike this. It's something that I live by so hard, and I tell people to always remember it. Nothing in life is permanent but death. Everything has to work itself out for the good or for the bad. You're never stuck in any situation. And that's what my career and me have been based on since I've started this. I'm never going to feel like nothing is the end and nothing won't change because long as there's breath in my body, I can do whatever I want to do, and I have an option to do it. I have an option to restart my life tomorrow if I wanted to, long as I can breathe. Because nothing in life is permanent but death. Everything has to work itself out for the good or for the bad. That go for bills too. I tell that to the bill collector all the time too. Cause baby, you can't get what I ain't got.
and that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And to add on to that, as my colleague Conscience would say, I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. We all have our purpose, our divine purpose, and that's what I will conclude today's show with as well, too. So to add on to what Rico said, but music. Before we let you wrap, anything coming up? Any projects coming up, Rico?
Right now, I'm still okay. So Closer is out right now. It's actually a kind of a taste of the direction I want to go in. I do have a lot of film things that I have coming up, which film has really been delaying more music releases, but it's been like 3, almost 4 years since my last project came out.
Wow.
Um, and a lot of things have gone on in my life to has have influenced me to write different things. I've constantly been writing for other people, giving away songs, everything. So I would say more so not a project, but I am going to lean into more visuals and getting back out to performing because I'm out of shape when it comes to performing. So I need to get back into performing shape. And I feel like more performances, more visuals than a project right now because I just want to kind of celebrate what I already have.
I mean, you've got so much music in the category from fake ass niggas. I mean, you got all of the songs. You got so many,
Yeah.
and you're still going on. And with Closer, when I heard it, because I put it in my little note, you guys, I love the new feature on Instagram where you can add the notes. And I went through and I'm like, okay, is this new music? And I press play, and it's a totally different vibe than
Yeah.
fake ass niggas and the other songs as well too.
Well, I'm a different Rico right now. I feel like when I started doing music, I had so much pent up aggression about proving myself and making it so that people believe that I'm for real about this and I'm not just another gimmick. That it was a lot of aggression. I had just found my sound. Like I literally learned how to write music, produce music, and do all that during the pandemic. When I first my first project was me first learning how to do music, period. So throughout the years of me perfecting that Rico sound that meshed the South and what I've learned, I kind of got a chance to write for a female artist who was actually a singer, which got me into experimenting with different parts of music and learning how other things work. So once I got that educate, like I say, I'm on the job training in everything I do. Once I got that and saw that I could do that, I started working, doing it for myself and playing around. And then I kind of didn't want people, and my voice got tired of being raspy all the time too. I kind of didn't want people to get used to that because I'm an artist, and those that music was for that time, but it wasn't fitting the vision that I wanted for myself now. And I felt like I wanted to one save my voice and introduce people to a softer side of Rico because Rico is multifaceted. It's not just always angry and aggression. I'm lovable. I'm sexy. I just wanted to start experimenting with different sounds. So y'all might get a little couple of visuals for stuff that was supposed to come out on a project that I kept to myself. So I'm gonna start just releasing different stuff because everything doesn't have to be one thing. I just want to introduce people to different parts of me. And that's why I started incorporating the acting into my music and trying to mesh it all together, bring people in because acting has always been my first love. Music is something I learned how to do. And I've always said that. And I always want to bring merge everything I learned together for myself in showcases. So yeah, just be on the lookout. Something closer is getting. I will say closer is getting a music video. I will say that the concept has already been laid out. I'm just waiting for the time to because like April is about to be crazy with filming. I have like 3 movies I'm filming in April. So I'm busy April, so it's coming.
Stay tuned, y'all. Make sure y'all are following Rico. The single is titled Closer.
Yeah.
Again, check out Polly Love and Peach City 1, 2, and 3. And make sure you guys go and follow Rico. Miles and Malik as well. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Make sure you're supporting everything that he's doing
Oh
and
yeah, and
support
also
all of us.
I got 2 books on Amazon if y'all want to go check that out too.
Yes. So plug your books before we wrap.
Oh, okay. Well, one is the my first book was the Enchanting Sisters, a family reunion, and it was a fictional book about 3 sisters who find out they come from another realm and get magical powers. That was my first book because I love fantasy. Anybody who knows me knows I love witches and warlocks and all that kind of stuff. So that was my first book. My second book was The Art of Courage: A Summer of Self Discovery. I call it a coming out story. It's about an artist, a character, a boy who is an artist who's learning how to navigate his life and find himself through his artwork and his passion to prove to his parents that art is a real craft. And also throughout the summer of him doing that, he falls in love with a boy and he discovers his sexuality in the midst of it. And I call it a coming out fairy tale because it's the story that a lot of us wish we could have, where we deal with our internal problems, and then when we do talk to get it out, we talk to our parents, and we all want that comfort. Even and I actually dive into the parents dealing with the coming out too, because I feel like that's not something that we see often in coming
Yeah.
out stories, is how the parents deal with it. because just like we want them to accept it automatically, it is a learned experience for them because, and it comes from my action with my mom talking to my mom when I started taking therapy. I had to understand that some of the arguments and things that me and my mom had when I was growing up were because parents don't know how. Parents raising a child does not come with a manual, especially when your child is gay. That's a whole different part of a manual that you don't have. So that's a whole different learning experience. And one day, like in my story, I
Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Rico. I don't know what just happened. Fashion dolls, can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? I don't know. I don't know what just happened. It was so good, but make sure y'all go and check out Rico's books. I will have his information pinned as well. This was a amazing conversation, and I hope y'all all took something away from the key word of the day, which is intersectionality, being able to bridge the gap amongst straight and the LGBTQ plus community. I hope you all took something away from this conversation. And again, a very special thank you to Rico. I don't know what just happened. Like YouTube has been tripping today, and I'm gonna update the app so that we won't have any of these issues tomorrow. But I love y'all, fashion dolls. We have another Rico joining me, and that is Rico King. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on Style by Stevie. Y'all like my cue cards? Yes, 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 yes. Get into it. Get into it. Get into it. I love y'all, and I will see y'all then.